Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It is this time of the week, Wednesday night, DRT. I am Billy, is here because I have no life. I'm here every week. Mr. AJ Job is with me here so far in the booth. How are you doing, AJ?
Not too bad, not too bad. A little strange evening here when it comes to the broadcast booth because I'm going to be sitting with you while I'm also doing a little racing here in the DRT. We got the half mile high banks of Eldora Speedway. You can't call it the house that Earl built because iRacing built it digitally, but it's the world's most famous dirt half mile, most famous dirt track in the world. Period. I don't. It is what it is. People in Knoxville might be upset. People in Pennsylvania are upset when they eat their breakfast in the morning, but it is what it is, and that's where we're going to be doing battle tonight. And the War on the Banks at Eldora Dirt Racing Tour action, and it's going to be a blast.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Eldora is always one of the fun tracks that we get to go to, and one of my favorites on the sim. One of mine in real life. On here, it doesn't get near as dusty as it does in real life, so that's always a good thing. But yeah, so got a little interesting way we're doing it tonight. AJ, like AJ was saying, he's going to be running the race this evening. So Justin Prince will be joining us here shortly. He's actually finishing up a twisty car race somewhere else, and he's going to come over and have some fun with us as well. So looking forward to that. But as you
Yeah, it's
see,
a little strange, you know. Of course, myself, qualifying for pro, I got to get some laps in, which I took this week off because I was in Tennessee on vacation. So I'm trying to get some laps in, but we also like calling these races as well. So it's going to be a little unique. I mean, I can kind of call it from the car in qualifying, but don't expect anything fancy because I'm not a great qualifier.
no, you're actually probably you were bad in real life at it, and yeah, it's just you need a rabbit to chase. But
It is what it is.
yeah, it is what it is. But we'll take a look at the points this week. Like we said last time, the first six races there was a drop week. The second six races there will be a drop week. So a total of 10 races scoring points. First five are automatically already in there. But James Eden is still your point leader from the Spindle Speed Lab contingency. John Batista, Michael Sheridan, Kevin Click, David Heilman running out the top five. So a lot of pro guys, a lot of former pro guys. You know, Hanley and Zarfos have never been in the pro league, but they both have the speed to be in it for sure. Bergeron, pretty convincing win Monday night. He was extremely fast. But Braden Nyler in there, Kevin Click, all these guys. A lot of talent throughout the field. I know we had a few come in this weekend. We've got a pretty damn full server this evening. Just kind of looking through here, LB, Hewitt, Hardy, Eiler, Andrew May, who's been getting faster and faster, Logan Rumsey, another pro, Ducharme, who led a lot of the pro race on Monday. He's in the house as well. Dustin Griffiths is in, another pro. Cardwell, Batista, yeah, the gang's all here. Actually, Mr. Kevin Swindell is in the field this evening, so got a lot of heavy hitters that have come in. AJ, it looks like you're going to be on the on the
I,
board as
I picked.
as announcer. So we've got
I
an announcer and assistant official out there.
Yeah,
So those
doing
two would.
battle, but I with the field like this, I don't really need a name because I sure picked a hell of a night to decide to start turning the damn wheel because there's a lot of really tough guys to chase
Yeah,
here in this one.
yeah. There's easily 30 pros within this field. So it's going to be pretty interesting. There's not a lot of time left on for practice as of right now, or getting ready to go out and practice. And if I must say so, oh boy, the we'll call this what it is. As I'm looking at the infield, I don't really know, AJ, if you're seeing it, considering what practice group you're in. But we're going to go to the racetrack right now, as a lot of the Swindell Speed Lab boys are out there and the Slick Sim Sport guys all running the exact same paint. Oh boy. As you can see there, not sure who's on the sideboards, but it looks like Hayden Cardwell on the nose wing. So, this is going to be rather interesting to try to call a race this evening, so much appreciated, fellas. Much appreciated. But Braden Eiler out there currently. We will go through we'll go take a look actually if AJ's out on the racing surface. We'll go take a look at him and see what he's got going on. So we'll bring up the ticker there. Thank you, MX Sniper. Welcome to the program.
LB, Tucker, Eiler, Bergeron, Ducharme. That's a pretty tough top 5 right there in practice, as practice is getting set to end.
Yeah, we've only got 16 seconds left to practice, so this track is really starting to get, looks like right around 50 cars going to be in attendance, so we should definitely have 5 heat races this evening. So
looks like the announcer is sitting around 20th place with a 12.973, so he's not doing so great right now.
No, not what you want to see, but you know, it is what it is. You know, I think you'll be fine. Just gotta suck it up a little bit. You'll be good to go.
2 minutes to qualify right here. We're gonna see what everybody's got.
We'll go out here with your point leader, James Edens. Extreme low lines up to a slider. His first lap. Eden's 13.024, so super quick for Eden's his first lap.
Holy moly, the announcer's fast!
Well, that's something we don't see every day. Let's go, we'll go on board. Kevin Swindell's still rocking the same paint as the rest of those guys. So we're gonna have a lot of trouble finding these guys. But here's Mason Hannigan currently, and you'll notice the top 30 on the side of your screen. That is your invert cars. So if you're in the top 30, you have made the invert. If you're outside of the top 30, you are going to be starting farther back than 7th in your heat races as we invert the top 6. With the top 2 going to, or the winner and going to the main event. Along with,
look at how close everything is at the top of the board here, because I felt really good when I went provisional P2 at a 13.072, and I have steadily dropped to probably what is 16th or 17th as these things click off. So
Jean Batista just went to quick time on the board. So boy, oh boy, look at that. We're under a 10th for the top 25 guys. Welcome to the Pro League, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to
unbelievably close.
Yeah, this is absolutely extremely close. But it is time for heat race action. As we are just getting ready to go here, waiting for guys to make the grid.
Well, it looks like you got me until heat 5, so that's a plus.
Well, that's always what we like to see. But starting grid, heat race number 1, Michael Heilman on the pole with J.D. Brown to his outside. Cole Newhoffen had a pretty good run in the Pro Series Monday night until a little late race skirmish got him in some trouble. Lewis Hewitt to his outside. Travis Oldfield in the 5th spot. And John Batista, your fast qualifier, your point leader for the first 6 rounds, will roll off in 6th. Jeremy Zarfos, just missing the invert, will roll off in 7th. Mason Hannigan in 8th. Jeffrey Stewart, the Milford Missile, will roll off in 9th. And Brandon Matson in 10th. 10 cars, 10 laps. Top 4 transfer to the A main.
Remember, your quick qualifier sitting outside row number 3. John Batista, one of the top guys in the league so far this season, looking to continue his maybe not winning ways, but definitely his top ways. He took the first win of the season and has been able to hold on to it since then. Is that Hayden Cardwell on the nose wing of the Swindell Speed Lab
and
boys?
I'm trying to find out if they're trolling me or not, because that half looks like me on the top wing, but I don't feel like it would be. But it's definitely Hayden Cardwell. I don't know who that is on the top wing, actually. But yeah, that is definitely Hayden Cardwell with a crown on his head. So not really sure what the meme is on it or what the joke is necessarily, but I got no idea who any of them are, so it's going to be, we're just going to call them the green cars, because that's going to be about impossible. So
really rough for me because I'm in sim and I don't have my my telemetry on board. So let's just see. One of the Swindell boys on the outside of the front row, Michael Heileman on the inside. The 911 going to bring him off of turn 4 for the green flag. 10 laps the distance. Top 6 will advance. And we are green at Eldora. Cole Newhoffen with a good jump there on the inside. He's going to slide up in front of the Swindell boys, who one of them gets contact with the 38 car. I believe that was J.D. Brown. I'm not completely sure. We've got a caution.
yeah, not really sure which one it was. It might have been Lewis Hewitt here.
It was not.
We'll go back and look.
JD.
We'll go back and look at this. Travis Oldfield, I know, is partially involved, but I'm pretty sure he made it out unscathed. Yeah, Lewis Hewitt gets into him, and Batista, bad luck for John Batista there, is he might be okay here. It'll be, looks like we're going to get as much of a complete restart as we can with one lap complete on the field, but it looks like John's going to be okay. And you notice the stutter a little bit up at the top with the way the tickers are, with the way the dirt operates with the yellows, but nothing too bad. Should be nothing we can't overcome.
Yeah, it looks like Hewitt is trying to make sure that car is still in one piece. He's happy enough with it to stay out on the racetrack. Looks like it's going to be J.D. Brown who will start in front of Cole Newhoffen. Newhoffen, of course, had that big slide job to take the position away, but since they did not complete a lap, he's got to go back.
And actually, we just got confirmation, Hayden Cardwell in the chat saying you guys have got to go look at these cars. Yeah, we did, and Dustin Griffiths actually confirming that is actually David Heilman on the side of the top wing.
Okay, so, all right.
Yeah, wild evening. So the green cars are one down and one's left in this one. So Lewis Hewitt actually restarts at the back of the field, and we're back green once again.
Heileman down the front stretch in front of J.D. Brown. Newhoffen goes straight to the cushion there. He's got a big run off of turn 2. Doesn't look to have a move there on Brown. Brown's looking to try to get around that 911 Heileman car. His brother on the wing. He probably looks at his face enough, but Michael going to dive under that Swindell Speed Lab machine of J.D. Brown. Actually, that's a Slick Sim Sport car, isn't it? Either way, Newhoffen now, the man out front. Brown on the inside, going to try to slide up in front of him. We'll see if Newhoffen can make a move here. Down into turn number 1. They are side by side on the bottom side of the racetrack. And meanwhile, it is Travis Oldfield making waves as those guys get crossed up. Heileman gets the worst of it, but Oldfield is going to slide by all of them. Into second place goes Travis Oldfield. He's looking at J.D. Brown with the slide job there, but we have a caution out on the speedway.
Yeah, and John Batista was kind of your big winner in that one there with the little skirmish. It looks like that might have been Jeremy Zarfos here. Let me go back and see what I can find here in an instant replay, and it looks to be Mr. Zarfos, unfortunately. Got into the... they had a little bit of a miscue right in front of him, nowhere to go. Car got tight into the fence and upside down for Mr. Zarfos, so that's a tough break for the man from Pennsylvania running the Ford car tonight.
With Travis Oldfield.
Yeah,
the man
Oldfield
that,
made an
that
aggressive move.
Yeah, he was able to get a little bit of a cut down line there as Brown and another car made contact. That allowed him to squeeze through and is currently sitting in second in this race. John Batista right now in that fourth and final transfer spot, which will earn him a spot in the dash since he is the quickest qualifier out of this heat race. If he can stay there, we're going to be working lap 7 when we get back to green. Mason Hannigan, the man on the outside looking in. Michael Heileman behind him in 6th, and then it is Jeffrey Stewart in 7th. So Cole Newhoffen going to give him green off of turn number 4.
Track is already a lot wider than I anticipated it to be.
It is.
We'll have to look at the weather here once this heat race is over, but definitely a lot different of a racetrack than I thought we would have. Usually we see Eldora right around the middle at this point.
Green flag is out. Newhoffen got a great start. He's on the cushion. J.D. Brown looking for a slide job on Oldfield, who has to check up. That's going to give John Batista a look into turn number 3. See how these guys shake out here. Oldfield not going to cut Brown any slack. Back into second, but now the back and forth between second place Travis Oldfield and third place J.D. Brown. John Batista going to try to insert himself into this, but he doesn't want to find any problems because right now he is in the catbird seat with the dash. Coming to the white flag this time. Here comes Batista with the big slide job, moves into second place. Newhoffen takes the white. They're 3 wide into turn number 1. Mason Hannigan hoping something happens here. Down to the inside goes John Batista. Oldfield right there with him. Here comes J.D. Brown back. They will all 3 finish in whatever the heck position they finished. But all of those gentlemen will transfer through tonight's feature, along with Cole Newhoffen, who took the win.
Yeah, Newhoffen with the win. Oldfield, then Brown, and Batista. So very, very close second, third, and fourth there. They will all be going on to the feature event with Newhoffen and Batista going to the dash. So Mason Hannigan, Michael Heilman, Jeffrey Stewart will all be going on to the B main this evening, or in the lesser mains, I should say. But we are ready to go for heat race number 2. Starting on the pole, the man, the myth, the legend, Kevin Swindell on the pole with Colton Davis to his outside. Braden Eiler in the 3rd spot with Alex Bergeron in the 4th. By God, what a heat. Fifth starting spot, James Eden's your point leader currently. Kendall Tucker from North Carolina, part of the Swindell Speed Lab team. He will roll off in 6th. He's your fastest qualifier this heat race. Dustin Hall in 7th. Corey Pritchett, Matt Dixon, and Trey J. Galgon round out the field. Oh,
Leave
boy.
it to Tucker, the only guy that didn't get the Swindell slick memo. He's got the 00 paint scheme that he runs in the Pro League on.
Well, Colton Davis out there, too, with his. Colton Davis rocking his. So not everybody made the switch, but looks like the majority of them did. But, boy, oh boy. I really hope they're not 1, 2, and 3 in the feature at some point. Because otherwise, they're just going to say, go for it, have a blast.
No idea. No idea.
A green car's
but
winning.
That's
and
fine.
A green car's winning, have a blast. But 1 to green here. We are getting ready to fire heat race number 2.
Let's watch the world champion on the outside of row number 2. He's got Braden Eiler to his inside, but Kevin Swindell, the Chili Bowl master, going to give him green here off of turn number 4. Great start for Swindell. He's bringing Braden Eiler with him. Eiler to the bottom side of the racetrack, going to put the slider in. Not sure what happened to Davis there. I think he might have caught the fence, and that cost him.
Yeah, Davis.
There's a Swindell car putting a slide job on Eiler, going to give him a little bit of room. Eiler now to the bottom side of the racetrack, contact with the Swindell machine, and somebody is gone.
Oh boy, that. Let's go back here in a replay and see what happened here. Eiler tried going way to the bottom and just didn't leave enough room. See if
I don't think he expected that Swindell car to still be getting the bite and driving down the racetrack, and Bergeron was kind of crowding him. They were 3 wide there, and he was trying to make the move. Maybe
that was a misjudged deal. Eiler obviously going to go to the tail.
Taking the EOL. I very highly doubt that's what he intended.
Yeah,
but
definitely not intentional.
A little rash, I would say. Do we know who that was, however?
That was James Edens, your point leader.
Okay, see, because I don't have the telemetry, so I still show James Edens in second, which he obviously is not because it is Alex Bergeron lined up behind him. So big problems for the points leader here, who makes contact with Braden Eiler, and that means he is going to the lessest of mains, which is not a word. I understand that, but that's just what we're going to go with.
Well, you're from Brownsville, so you can make up words all you want. All you want.
So we've got Kevin Swindell, Alex Bergeron, Kendall Tucker, and somebody else. Going to bring them down to the line here.
Boy.
Swindell. Oh, wow! Swindell swerved the world champion. A little bit of a brake check on the start, and Alex Bergeron is going to lose 5 spots.
Definitely not the start that everybody was wanting there. That's just one of them things.
That is Dustin Hall.
Yeah, Dustin Hall in second. Swindell still leading.
Yep. Kendall Tucker putting the slider on Hall here, leaving him space, however. In fourth, it is Matt Dixon. Dixon in the final transfer spot right now, trying to fight off Corey Pritchett. Let's tune in here to Alex Bergeron, who's in a 3-wide battle with Davis and Eiler. Davis gives Eiler a little right rear, maybe as a thank you from his somewhat partner Edens.
Bergeron trying to make something happen on the bottom side, just can't get going.
He's got time here. Alex Bergeron, one of the coolest heads in the game. He's probably a little upset about that, however, so he's got to stay cool here and give himself a chance to make a run on these 2 cars in front of him.
Yeah, and even if he doesn't get into the top 5 or into the top 4, he's still going to be up front in the B. So you don't want to do anything too crazy here, but we're coming up on 2 to go.
He is coming. Big slider down to the bottom of the track. He's got it hooked up, and he is around Dixon. Bergeron into fourth. We'll see if he can hold on to it here. Hall has been passed by Tucker. So it is Swindell, Tucker, Hall, and Bergeron, your top 4. Dixon trying whatever he can to get back around. You see Eiler going around Pritchett. He's going to try to put the slider there on Dixon in contact, as we've got no caution because that was the finish of the race. Looked like Eiler put the slide job on Pritchett and did not realize that Dixon would be there as well. So he made contact with Dixon. The slider was so large, and that cost both of those drivers there at the end of that race. But Kevin Swindell, your winner, heat race number 2, albeit a little bit of controversy with that restart.
Yeah, definitely not what you want to see, but heat race number 3 lining up. We'll have to see what Zane says after that one there. Ryan Sheet on the pole from Black Diamond Motorsports running in the 1 spot. Daniel Zagers out of Pella, Iowa, outside of him in row number 1. Kevin Click and Dylan Schiebel in row number 2. Colton Hardy and Cameron Merriman rounding out the invert cars there. Cameron Merriman, your fastest qualifier in this heat race. Mike Keegan, a guy we haven't seen very much this year. He does a lot of 305 racing in upper Northwest Ohio. So good to see him, just missing the invert in 7th. Sam Price from Louisiana in the 8th spot. Andrew May and Jordan Etter round out your field. Another 10-car heat race, 10 cars, 10 laps. Top 4 transfer on to the A main.
Kevin Swindell pleading his case in the chat, saying you can't go till I go. The admins will definitely look at it to see if there was anything in that restart, but obviously I don't have telemetry. I don't know, cannot tell you. It wasn't on track, so we'll have to wait and see what the ruling is there, which might not be until the end of the evening as well. But the fact of the matter remains that Kevin Swindell won that race and transferred to the feature event, and Bergeron made it back in as well. So we're getting ready to go for 10 laps here in heat race number 3. Scheidt on the pole, Zegers to the outside. We'll see what everybody's got here. Green flag is out. Rough start for Zegers, who is going to see Click go by, as well as that Swindell Speed Lab machine. Or, yes, Dylan Scheifel. It's so hard to tell who's who. He's right on the inside of the 8 car there. But Zegers back in the middle of the racetrack, looking to make a move on Scheidt for the race lead, holding his own pretty well there. Scheibel now right on the back bumper of the 8. Kevin Click going to get into this battle as well. They were 3 wide for just a moment. Zegers side by side with the race leader, and here comes another one of those Swindell machines. Colton Hardy inserting himself into this battle. Oh, and a right rear to Kevin Click, who is in the fence, but no caution.
Yeah,
Cameron Merriman now into 5th, looking to find his way into this race.
Yeah, Cameron Merriman, another pro, trying to lock himself into the dash and into the feature as well, coming from the 6th starting spot. So he's under fire, though, from Scheibel, another Pro Series driver.
And these guys trading that final transfer spot back and forth. Meanwhile, out front, it is Daniel Zegers, who got the race lead as we were watching the battle for 4th. Big slide job coming in here from Scheibel. Scheibel?
Scheibel?
It's one of those, for sure.
One of those. Definitely one of those.
So Merriman
now putting.
Oh my goodness! Big slider from Scheibel on Merriman there, who's going to get back around that machine. We've got a fantastic battle for the final transfer spot. Ahead of them, it is Colton Hardy, who has made his way around Ryan Scheidt and is setting his sights on the race leader Daniel Zegers. But we are going to see the white flag come out this time by. Only 4 more corners left in this heat race. Heat race number 3 coming down to the wire. Merriman, no real pressure from behind now. He's working the bottom side of the track to try to pick up another couple of spots. Meanwhile, out front, Daniel Zegers is going to bring home another heat race victory here in heat number 3. Second place goes to Colton Hardy, Ryan Scheidt in 3rd, and Cameron Merriman in 4th.
Green to checker heat races, always nice to see. Always nice to see. But Cameron Merriman locking himself into the dash along with Mr. Zegers. So we have got heat race number 4 coming out onto the speedway here, which we got another hitter of a good one. Justin Stoltz out of Colorado is going to fire from the pole. Kevin Hanley out of New York. Lane Stevens rolls off in 3rd. Joshua Stanky had a really great run with the Pro Series the other night, coming from pretty deep in the field. So good job to Joshua there. Dustin Griffiths inside road number 3 with Cole Cabre to his outside. Logan Rumsey, Daniel Burkhart, Hayden Cardwell, and Adam Elby both tagging the rear of the field. So this one's going to get pretty wild, I think. Not sure if those guys just didn't get a qualifying lap in or tapped the wall or something, but very unlikely, or unusual, I should say, that those two would be starting towards the back half of the field.
Yeah, we've seen Cardwell do the no qualifying thing before, but it was Elby who was fastest in practice, who did not get a qualifying lap in. So, not sure what happened there. I would imagine you might have seen, but 2 wall taps is a little rough to believe. But either way, we've got a couple of fast cars starting at the rear of this field, and out front it is Justin Stoltz, who will bring them down. Kevin Hanley on the outside, a driver who is very, very good at the Eldora Speedway. We'll see what he's got from the outside pole here. Stoltz going to give him green for 10 laps. Here we go. Stevens in second. A great start. Hanley did not get off the line very well. Wow, big slide job goes in. Is that Stoltz that was in the fence, the leader? Big time problems, and this race has changed big time. We saw Hanley drop back. Stoltz got in the fence, and I do believe the Black Diamond machine of Joshua Steinke got the worst of it. He is out of this race.
Yeah, he got the real big short end of the stick. Dustin Griffiths made a bold move from the start of the race. But Casey Rumsey, we've got a gaggle of the green cars now.
Right now. It is Dustin Griffiths out front. Then there are 4 Swindell Speed Lab / Slick machines fighting it out with Lane Stevens here for what is the 4th and final transfer position. Right now, it belongs to somebody. Where is my stuff at here? Right now, Rumsey. Rumsey right now has it. Lane Stevens is in 5th, but Adam Elby around the outside looking to take that away. Dustin Griffiths, who has set sail, is now under fire from Cole Cabray. And we've got a freight train on the outside as Griffiths stuck in the middle of the racetrack. Looks like it is Cabray out front. Hayden Cardwell right there. Rumsey as well. Dustin trying to do something different to hold on to what he can, but he has gone from 1st to 4th very quick as that train has gone by on the outside. Ooh, we've got a spin. That's Stoltz on the front stretch. No caution as of yet, so that leaves Adam Elby a chance. Elby with the slide job on Dustin Griffiths to the cushion. Can he hold it? He can. Dustin Griffiths now the odd man out we work lap 9, but there's a problem. A problem between the teammates.
The 2 leaders, the 2 green cars. Looks like Rumsey and Cardwell. We'll go back and check this out in replay here to see exactly what happened. I don't know who's who in this situation, but Rumsey gets into the fence going down the front straightaway, then the 2 leaders get into it, and then it's just pandemonium.
Well, it was Cabray out front, and Cardwell, I believe, would have been throwing a slider if that's what it was.
Right now, as it sits, the unofficial top 4 is Cabray, Elby, Griffiths, and Stevens, with Burkhart in 5th. That's what I'm seeing, at least on timing and scoring. So we're gonna have to see what's going on here. As far as if there's going to be any penalties or anything like that. But as of right now, Cabray, Elby, Griffiths, and Stevens, currently your top 4 cars, going to be moving on to the main event. But we're going to get a green-white checkered here. Something new over the last few weeks of racing. So get these guys a chance to get spooled up and actually get some racing on. But we're 1 to green, and we're going to have 2 to go when we come to the line. So this is going to be a really crucial restart especially for Cabray, because Elby's on the move. He's been extremely fast, but Burkhart and Hanley, they're also chomping at the bit to get by Stevens, who Stevens has had some bad luck in DRT races. He's led a few of these races and unfortunately missed the show a couple times. So see if he can put himself into the main event.
Well, we're going back to green right now. Cole Cabray bringing him down. LB in second, under fire from Griffiths, who goes to the bottom side of the racetrack. We've got a pass here. Daniel Burkhart has made his way into 4th. Behind him is Hayden Cardwell, who must have had an excellent start. Cardwell trying to get around the 20. He makes contact. Kevin Hanley now, the man who gets that spot down the backstretch out front. It is Cole Cabray, Adam Elby, Dustin Griffiths. And 4th place going to go to Kevin Hanley, nearly edging out Justin Stoltz, who made a comeback after that first lap, first turn problem. Well, I think we can all agree that heat race number 4 was the wild one.
We're going to have to go to Zane here in a little bit just to find out who actually made it into the dash or who's eligible now for the dash, because none of the fast cars really out of that one. But we're getting ready to go heat race number 5. Starting grid, Peyton Grease on your pole sitter. Tyson Landis, Team SETI driver from Ohio. Outside of him, AJ Job rolls off in the 3rd hole with David Heilman in 4th. Tyler Ducharme in 5th. And from Hanford, California, that is Shea Paulo in the assistant official car on the 6th spot. Michael Sheridan just missing the invert. William Hobart and Gage Stevens round out your field. 9 cars, 10 laps. Top 4 to the A main. Peyton Grease got a new looking car. Good looking blue and white machine there.
It's a little different being on the track and announcing.
You just focus on driving right now. Justin Prince is still finishing up his previous race, and he'll be over here shortly. So the AJ will get his relief duty, so he'll be able to actually go race. But this is actually the first time I've gotten to see AJ's car on the racetrack. It looks pretty sporty.
It is a beaut.
She's a beaut, Clark, but. Got Mr. Heilman to the outside, and going to be a tough heat race, definitely. But we'll just have to see who can get it done as we are 1 to go. Peyton Grease getting ready to lead them down to the green. Green flag is out. Grease gets a really good start, but so does AJ on the bottom there. Peyton goes right to the top.
Come on, announcer, to the
lead! AJ takes the lead with Heilman in tow. Ducharme coming through the field as well, but Sheridan from the 7th spot, he is up to 4th right now. Really making a charge, but Gage Stevens looking pretty solid there in 5th. AJ going to be doing his best to try to run the cushion and keep that momentum up, but Heilman sticks the bottom coming off of turn number 2 and gets a great drive down the back straightaway. This track changing every single lap now, but keeping that momentum up on the top. AJ doing a pretty damn good job with the other 2 pros in the field right now. Shea Paulo still sitting back there in 7th, trying to make something happen. Just can't get anything going. Ducharme chucks a slider on AJ there. Heck of a race out front. Oh, Ducharme into the fence, but that's going to bring him under fire here from Sheridan. But Gage Stevens is still knocking on the door. Oh, and as soon as I say that, Gage Stevens into the fence hard, and we've got a big old wreck down on the front straightaway. No caution currently, though. Sheridan making it work through the middle. AJ still committed to running the top side, but here comes Landis coming fighting back. He's up into the 5th spot now, so your front row has ended up going a little bit backwards, but we're going to keep watching this battle here for 3rd and 4th. David Heilman checked out to about a 2nd lead over Tyler Ducharme right now. As we are working on 2 laps to go. Dual sticks being thrown. Sheridan really trying to make that bottom work, the middle bottom of the racetrack. Just very hard to pass right now with keeping your momentum up on the top side. Slide job out of Sheridan. AJ's going to cut back down. And that will do it. Heat race number 5. Goes to David Heilman, Tyler Ducharme, AJ Job, and Michael Sheridan make it into the feature event for tonight.
I can tell you firsthand that cushion is very bumpy already. Car was pretty good, but as I was hopping on the cushion, it would want to try to come off. And it was so thin as well, you had to be very careful to not try and slam it too hard, because you would find yourself in the outside wall as well. So very tricky track here for these drivers.
D-Main rolling onto the racing surface, or getting ready to roll onto the racing surface. Braden Eiler, your pole sitter, with Jordan Eder to his outside. Lane Stevens, Gage Stevens, it's an all Stevens second row. Jeremy Zarfos rolls off fifth, and James Edens starts outside of row number 3 with Sam Price and Josh Stanky. So this is a heck of a D-Main for transferring on to the main event, or onto the C-Main, I should say. I do believe it is top 4 still.
Man, this has got some really fast race car drivers here, with Eiler, Edens, Zarfos, Steinke. I mean, Stevens. This is wow.
Yeah, this is basically a bad luck or a bad decision race. Lane Stevens got shuffled back a little bit in his heat race. Zarfos had a couple guys check up in front of him and caught a little bit of the wall and got himself upside down. Steinke, no fault of his own. Same thing really with Edens. Eiler just a little bit aggressive on the bottom, trying to make something work. So I mean, this is going to be definitely going to be a wild one to see who the 4 guys that are going to be going on to the back of the C main. Is Eiler getting ready to fire, and green flag is out on the D main.
Strange formation there. The second place car, Eder, did not seem to get up close to Eiler there, and it cost him as Eiler checks out on the field right now. Stevens is the slide job man, getting around Eder there for second, but he's got guys on the inside of him. That is the 5 car. Is that Sam Price? Let's see who is coming on the inside here. That is Mr. Edens. James Edens, your points leader, working the bottom here of the D main. Is able to get up into third. Ooh, problems there between Stevens and that 5 machine. Stevens now off the track. Steinke making contact. I think we've got some connection issues in this one. That is Zarfos in the 5 car, and he is having all sorts of issues getting bounced around. I think Stevens blinked out, and that caused problems for Zarfos, which also sent him back and gave Mr. Steinke problems as well, because he made contact. Now, right now, it is Gage Stevens in the 4th and final transfer position. Out front, Braden Eiler. In second is Edens. And then you have the machines of, wow, Zarfos now up the inside. He's inserting himself into this battle. He wants to make this race, and they've got Steinke behind them as well. So those 2 cars who were doing battle are now looking at missing this race, as they are still 3 wide. Now, Steinke around Zarfos for the 3rd spot. Zarfos holding on to the 4th and final transfer position. It is Gage Stevens who is blinking out on my screen, having all sorts of problems. Jordan Eder on the inside of the track. Now Stevens with a big slide job on both of the cars in front of him. Oh, and Zarfos makes contact with Steinke once more. Lap 9 here in this race. Stevens into the outside wall and out of this battle. We can narrow it down just a little bit. Looks like Zarfos and Steinke, no pressure behind them, as we've got 2 laps left in this race. It is Sam J. Price, the odd man out right now. 2 to go here. He's trying to make a move here on Zarfos, who is now struggling. Might have been too much contact for that 5 car, because it is having all sorts of problems. He is under fire from Sam J. Price as the white flag waves. James Edens is going to take victory in this race as he is around Braden Eiler. Eiler trying to go back to the bottom side. Not going to happen. Edens wins. We look back at Zarfos, who is going to cross the line ahead of Sam J. Price and get that 4th and final transfer spot into the C main.
Wow. Zarfos was a pinball there.
Yeah, and that hurt that car as well because he had contact with the wall. He had contact with other cars. He and Steinke definitely pinballing off of one another there for quite a bit. So complicated race there for Zarfos, but he did what he needed to do, make it through, and now he's got another 12 laps to try and find his way into the night's B main from the C.
Yeah, and we are now joined by Mr. Justin Prince. How are you doing, sir?
Doing good, thank you very much. And from what I can tell, very exciting race so far. Apparently, Anthony Job's racing is going well while announcing, from what I can tell as well.
Yeah.
Very energetic.
You are as surprised as I am, I guarantee you.
Well,
Either way, go ahead.
It's been fun so far. Get used to the green cars as we're rolling out for the C. It's definitely going to be an interesting C feature here. Hayden Cardwell on the pole with William Hobart to his outside, Brandon Matson and Matt Dixon, Kevin Click and Daniel Burkhart in 5th and 6th, Shea Paulo starting in the 7th spot with Lewis Hewitt in 8th, James Edens, Braden Eiler, Joshua Steinke, and Jeremy Zarfos rounding out the 12-car field, getting ready to go 12 cars, 12 laps, top 4 advance. So
I'm going to let you boys do your thing since both of you have telemetry. So I will bow out here in just a moment. It's been a lot of fun so far, and I need to put fuel in this thing, see how we can do in the future.
Yeah,
but
good luck tonight, the rest of the night. Thank you, buddy.
We'll catch you guys later.
That sounded like a very exciting driver and sounding like it's been a very exciting night so far, to say the very least. C main getting all set to go. Once again, it's the green cars. That's going to be a story to probably tell. Leading things off, Hayden Cardwell, who had a strong start to his World of Outlaws sprint car campaign in 2020, is off and away. Already up to the cushion. Matson falls on behind, all while Click and several others try and shuffle about into 3 and 4. A heck of a start to this race as Kevin Click has had some great speed throughout this time, nearly qualified his way in to the 2020 iRacing World of Outlaws Knox Energetic Sprint Cars World Championship Series this campaign. He fights side by side with Edens, still trying to scrap with the 16 as well. Sliding on up, able to make the move. Top 4 move on to the B main. Remember, in this action, that is Shea Powell. As the caution flag is out, it's Matson with trouble.
Yeah, we'll go back and see if we can find what happened here. And it looks like, yeah, it just gets tight into the fence. Steinke nowhere really to go. Dixon having problems. Looks like everybody's going to be able to restart just fine, but just looks like Matson reset, so he'll be out of the event currently. But not shocking to see Hayden take off, run away, and hide there. This is his kind of a racetrack, slick and to it with a curb. So expecting more of the same out of Mr. Cardwell.
Absolutely, and I think we have to touch upon the green cards again, because why is half the field wearing Hayden Cardwell cars with crowns on his head?
I have not figured it out yet. Hayden said earlier on in the chat that we needed to check them out, which they are very hard to miss. It seems like the vast majority of the Swindell Speed Lab team and the Slick Sim Sport team all sporting the Hayden Cardwell and David Heilman paint schemes this evening. So rather confusing. I'm a big fan of the meme, but man, is it hard to call a race with.
By the way, in that regard, they do have a history of working together for the late model series for the second half of that campaign, so that does touch in. By the way, our official listing for your dash cards for tonight are in Konuhofen, Swindell, Zegers, Elby, Howman, Batista, Tucker, Merriman, Cabry, and Oldfield. Off and away goes Hayden Cardwell. A good launch. The two rookies, 1-2 from the World Championship, as Kevin Click looks away to take away P2.
Yeah, Shea Paulo still trying to make the bottom side work as he gets around Click, and oh boy, do we've got a mess. But
yes, indeed. Bottom side working, though, still for Hayden Cardwell early on. Slides from the bottom up to the top line. 7 laps to go in the C main. Zarfos, though, is in a battle for the bubble spot. Dixon trying to hold on to that position. Back and forth amongst that grouping. It's now separate by just 0.3 of a second. Halfway this time. Dixon really ripping the cushion right now. Over-rotates, though, and his golden black machine loses touch as Braden Eiler still has not been able to work his way through to get up to that Ford Performance Project Apollo machine in Zarfos. He works to the bottom. Tries to go for the slider. Can't make it stick on Dixon. 5 to go. Fastest cars the racetrack are Cardwell and Hewitt right now in the 14 ones and twos. Rest of the field in the 14 threes. Track continues to work its way in with 4 laps to go. Zarfos comfortably in his spot by 4/10. He works to the bottom this time. Trying to find a way to get a buffer position and try and find his way around the car in front and Powell. Can't get up to him quite yet with 3 laps to go.
Yeah, and this track is just extremely fast right
Currently
now.
Hayden Cardwell up by 1.4 seconds over his teammate Lewis Hewitt. Zarfos works on trying to close up to Powell still. Dixon still in 5th. Steinke has also now worked his way to the pit lane with troubles. 2 cars off circuit with the white flag coming this time by. It is now getting tight for second of note. Hewitt and Powell. Tight as Powell slides at the bottom of the racetrack. He looks to try and take the position away. No. But at the end of the racetrack, it's Hayden Cardwell. He dominates the C main. Lewis Hewitt second. Third goes to Powell, and Zarfos will also move on through the alphabet.
Yeah, Zarfos with a really strong run there up from the back of the C. So he's been eating.
Good race right there, Billy.
Yeah, an extremely good race. Zarfos really making things work down here on the and really all over the racetrack. So he's going to be full of alphabet soup this evening. That's for sure. He's gotten his definitely got his money's worth tonight. So 17 cars into the B main. So it's definitely going to be a lot tougher of a go around. But it's going to be interesting to see if he can do it. 12 laps, not a lot of time, so he's got to go pretty quick.
Let's take a look towards the grid as Mason Hannigan, the son of a mid-2000s legend in the world of outlaws, will start on the front row of this one with Corey Pritchett. Dylan Schmiebel will try and carry over some momentum from the virtual World Championship racing from P3 with Justin Stoltz in 4th. Tyson Landis starts in 5th with Michael Heilman in 6th. It's Colton Davis in P7, Mike Keegan in 8th. Rumsey and Peyton Grease round out the top 10. Jeffrey Stewart starts 11th tonight with Trey Gowden in 12th position. Andrew May will start 13th, and then your alphabet cars. Hayden Cardwell, Lewis Hewitt, Shea Powell as your assistant official, as well as Jeremy Zarfos will try and work their way into the race. Your thoughts on this field? You mentioned the big amount of drivers in this. With only 12 laps to work with, this could be chaotic.
Yeah, I fully expect it to be fairly chaotic. A lot of fast guys spread throughout the field, and a lot of guys that are under a lot of pressure. You're going to see, especially guys like Cardwell, Hewitt, be very aggressive to get through the field because there's only 12 laps. So you've got to basically pass, if you're Zarfos, you got to pass more than 1 car per lap. You got to go, and you got to go in a hurry. But with the cars out front, Mason Hannigan, a lot of experience around Eldora. Wouldn't be shocked to see him roll the bottom. He's extremely good around there. But Michael Heilman's been very fast of late. Mike Keegan. This is a pretty solid feature anywhere else. But here in the B main, just getting ready to go green. Top 4 still advanced to the A.
It's the Black Diamond driver of Mason Hannigan in control of the field this time. Pace truck is off. We're backing away from Eldora. Hannigan with a good launch already up to the cushion as the Little Hurricane looks to follow the path of the Big Hurricane. Pritchett already to second, bumping and banging along the cushion, however. The bumpy cushion sees the slide to the bottom. Tyson Landis looking to make the move in the Wicked Relief Gum car. Able to make the move, yes, to P2. He rumbles as Justin Stoltz now tries to make the bottom work as well. Pritchett gets hit from behind. Here comes Michael Heilman as he's forced to check up and nearly hits the cushion as well. Oh, wow, Dylan Schmiebel has just quietly shot his way up to the lead. What a run down the front stretch. Schmiebel just ran away by at least 5 car lengths with that move down the front stretch. Lap 4 now underway here. What a start, Billy.
Yeah, and I'm not shocked that Landis is up there, but he is absolutely making the middle of this racetrack work. A lot of throttle control through the middle, but Mike Keegan now, he's up running where he likes to. Former pro last year, running the wall at Eldora. But Jeffrey Stewart in the 5th spot, he's moved up a few spots. So a lot of guys moving forward. Jeremy Zarfos, we're just taking a peek back through the field, is already up into 10th.
Right as you took that peek, by the way, Mason Hannigan lost the bubble spot. He hit the wall in turn 3. He is now back to P7. A bad corner may have just cost him the bubble. It's now Hayden Cardwell on that bubble. He's fighting Lewis Hewitt, Jeffrey Stewart, and several others for that, while Mike Keegan is losing 2 car lengths a corner compared to the Slick Sim Sport cars who are trying to work that cushion. Bad slide from behind from Hannigan, losing the spot back to Seward. Down to 4 laps to go this time by Keegan, nearly scrapes the wall. 3 wide as Hayden Cardwell shoots up to P2. Now through the middle, here comes Lewis Hewitt trying to squeeze his way in. Slidus Landis now tries to check 4 wide as Keegan forced off the gas. He hit the side tires of the cars around him. Now Landis on the bottom. Can't slide up in front of Cardwell. Hewitt still tries to work it up against the wall. Still 3 wide. If anything happens in this group, Mike Keegan can pounce to take away the final spot in the feature. 2 laps to go this time. 1.1 seconds is the lead. Cushion between the bubble car and P5 is now up to half a second. Schmiebel comfortably up in front. Cardwell, the fastest car on track, though, by 3/10. Hewitt now to 3rd. Caution is out. The caution is out down the back. Colton Davis, and his bad luck continues. It's contact, believe, with Logan Rumsey.
Yeah, and it looked like that actually all got started from getting into the back with Zarfos and Grease, and then Rumsey with a never lift situation. Absolutely, yeah. Davis gets in the back of him, and then it was just not sure how Rumsey didn't see that. That's pretty egregious. But yeah, that's a tough break. Davis not had much luck so far in the DRT this season, especially as of late. So that's going to change things quite a bit as we go. We're going to end up going green-white checkered here. So your 12-lap B main just turned into a 13-lap B main.
And that may give Mike Keegan and Mason Hannigan a chance to try and rebound after some poor laps before the caution flag. By the way, Logan Rumsey has been ejected from the racetrack after that scenario. But it's Schmiebel, Cardwell, Hewitt, Landis in control of the bubble spots. Keegan, Hannigan, Stewart, along with Powell among your top 10, and Zarfos and Pritchett. I'd like to remind you that drivers are required, if they have ample time to check up for an incident, they must do so. Green flag is out. Slick Sim Sport, along with the various other cars working together, but it's now the focus towards Landis. Can he hold on for one more lap? Landis preferring the bottom. Keegan preferring the top. Hannigan preferring the middle. He moves up to the cushion for the final lap. Cardwell and Schmiebel fighting for the race lead. Landis still trying to hold on for one more set of corners. Schmiebel takes the spot behind Cardwell and company, while Hewitt, and I believe it is tight. Yes, it is Keegan who gets it with Cardwell with the race win.
Yeah, that's a... we'll go back here and we will check exactly. But yeah, Cardwell, Schmiebel, Hewitt, and Keegan, your transfer. So Landis restarts in 4th and now is back into 6th. So from the inside of the feature to outside in a very quick manner. So tough break there for Tyson Landis, but good to see Mike Keegan make it into the feature event. As you are noticing cars onto the racetrack, normally we do not do a warm-up. But with the way that the track was looking, it was time to do a little reset. So before the dash, your feature cars are going to be out on the racetrack getting the surface worked in a little bit. So we should see hopefully some pretty good side-by-side racing here throughout. You see guys out there on the racetrack now working the bottom side of the racetrack in, some working the top side in, just getting it to how they want it with a race-worn track. So should be an interesting feature and a dash. So as we talked about earlier, Cole Newhoffen, Kevin Swindell, Dan Zagers, Adam Elby, David Heilman, John Batista, Kendall Tucker, Cameron Merriman, Cabray, and Travis Oldfield are the 10 dash cars. So gonna be a very quick dash. A lot of good cars in that one, and with the track going to be exponentially faster than it was than we saw in the B main there. So, but these guys are just out getting this racetrack worked into their liking, and we'll see how long Tyson gives them here, as it looks like he's pulling cars in right now. So we may be pretty quick here.
Yeah, already drivers are picking the respective grid slots at the moment. So the slots have already, for the half the drivers, been selected. Once those drivers have them sorted, they will battle for those positions to essentially battle for that to set up the front of the grid. Overall, who do you feel has the best shot in this one? It's really interested, on my part at least, to see how Kevin Swindell does in this.
Yeah, he had an interesting start in his heat race, and it had a very interesting start in his heat race. So it wasn't it definitely wasn't what he wanted. I can guarantee, but that put going to make it a little bit interesting because it got a couple guys bottled up.
Once again, I'd like to remind you that it will be for the dash 6 laps of drivers. If there will be a caution if there are 2 or more cars involved in an incident. Again, these are the drivers who are the fastest 5 qualifiers transfer for their respective heats. 2 cars advancing per heat race overall with those calculations for tonight. As these cars continue to sort themselves out, what have also been some of the things you've picked up on, knowing that these drivers are going to have to deal with the fresh track again, that it's not going to be like we just seen for even the Alphabet, where it's going to be like their first heat races, if anything.
Yeah, it's going to be I think it's going to be a pretty... we're going to see a very fast dash, but I think at the same time we're also going to be seeing these guys searching around a lot more throughout this dash to try to get themselves a better spot into the A. And it looks like the dash is getting ready to fire off, as I'm hearing my mic is a little bit quiet, so I'm going to work on that while the dash cars roll out, and we should be good to go.
As the cars now sort themselves out. It's going through, once everything's sorted out, through your starting grid for tonight's action. Cars just finishing up their running order before they run things on through. Once again, the drivers involved are Cole Newhoffen, Kevin Swindell, Zagers, Elby, David Heilman, John Batista, Tucker Merriman, Cole Cabry, and Oldfield. So, of note, John Batista has a technical issue at the moment. There is a chance he misses this dash as a result. Rest of the field now just about sorted out towards the back of the straightaway. Looking like they will have to reset here. So let's talk about this then, on that regard. Who do you feel are some of the underdogs throughout tonight's race to keep an eye on as they continue to prepare for tonight's feature?
Well, I think the biggest thing right now is that we're going to see is you're going to have to set the car up for way late in the race. Right now, you're going back to almost a heat race setup. So it's more than likely not what you're going to run in the A. The track's going to change extremely fast with 24 cars out onto the racing surface. So this dash is going to be very important to put yourself in the correct positioning or a good positioning to try to get as much room as you can out in front and hope there's not a ton of yellows, to get the field bunched back up. And it looks like, am I seeing Batista? No, I'm not. That's Merriman. So no Batista on the dash, unfortunately.
Yes, not going to make it out in time. And still, I don't know quite sure they got everything sorted out fully here. But right now, this is how the drivers are lined up at the moment. Control cars, Kevin Swindell, Kendall Tucker on the outside. Cole Cabry in row 2 is currently lined up alongside Sagers. Then behind them, Heilman and Merriman, LB, Oldfield among your final cars lined up. See how this all shapes out, shall we? Green flag, we're underway for the dash. Good launch for all the Slick, SimSport, and Swindell Speed Lab machines. Still, though, Kevin Swindell not making it easy on Cole Cabry. Kendall Tucker rips the high side. He moves up to P2, now in the 00. The pro drivers all looking to scrap it on out. Swindell leaves the bottom open for Tucker. Tucker now to the bottom side of the racetrack, side by side for the race lead. Still scrapping it on out, back and forth. Tucker, bottom. Swindell preferring the middle line on the fresher track. Better pull on the corner exit. Halfway that time. Oldfield scraps the wall. Cole Newhoffen and several others still scrap as Sagers nearly gets hit. Cole Cabry trying to find a way to build up a different line. It's all teamwork towards the front. Swindell now moving up a line, trying to work up towards that cushion. It was so strong once the track was slicking in and bumped on in. Tucker now tries to work on the bottom still. White flag this time. Tucker nearly over-rotates the car. Kevin Swindell into the final corner. It'll be Swindell who wins the dash. Tucker second, Cabry in P3, and they crash for 4th and 5th on back.
We're going to have to go to timing and scoring on that one with Zane to see who the finishers on back were, as most of them are already into the pit area. So just going to have to see there. Hopefully the mic situation's a little bit better on my end. I'm not too sure what happened. Windows loves to do wonderful things. But another good dash that we've had. I think this track is actually working out to be going to be extremely racy. The bottom is still good. The top is still good. I think we're going to see a heck of a feature tonight. As long as these guys can keep it clean and green, I think we're going to have definitely one of our best features of the year, if I had to assume so.
I think so too, as these cars continue to prepare for this one. Who are you keeping your eyes on the most now for this respective feature race? Because looking at the grid, you have a lot of the pro drivers. You have former pro drivers, but you also have others who are looking to show what they can do. And potentially, because a couple of the drivers, mind you, were close to qualifying their way in, you had to essentially this year finish top 26 in the points to advance to the main championship.
Yeah, the way that the qualifying series was pretty pretty wide open. I mean, there was some guys, that were top 10 and then ended up not making it into the pro league. So a lot of talent throughout, as it looks like they are getting ready to go into the feature. It looks like here in just a sec. But as far as guys to watch for, I mean, it's hard to bet against Bergeron. He's going to start towards the back of the field as he just got back into it. He was sitting pretty close to a dash spot before all that happened. So he's going to be one to watch. He's come on very good late in races and pretty much about everything. We saw that Monday night in the Pro Series. He was, sitting 5th, 6th, 7th, sometimes even back 8th and 9th, and then just charges through the field once the track gets slick. So he's going to definitely be one to watch. But Dylan Schiebel, I think, has shown a lot of speed as of late. David Heilman as well. The fast guys that are in this, and every single one of them is fast. There's not one guy, I think, in this feature event that's not a pro caliber driver. Daniel Zagers, I noticed, ran 4th in the dash, so it's going to be interesting to see how he holds his own up front. But the field is pretty wide open. It's just going to be the first few laps are going to be get settled in, don't do anything too crazy. The track is wide enough, but it's still fairly narrow. So, but it's going to change a lot. 30 laps over the course of a feature event is a lot of time, especially with 24 cars on the racetrack. So, should be a lot of fun to watch.
Drivers having their positions now announced over the radio, so we are moments away from getting towards the race. In regards to that, by the way, with Bergeron, it's been something I've been seeing him work on in this series as well as the Pro Series a lot, is on the bigger tracks, such as this, he likes the bottom. And as we've seen, the bottom takes a while to work in some circuits. It came into the perfect time at Volusia, where it was right around that time where it was similar to what we've seen him do back at Wheatsport a few weeks ago.
Yeah, he's the ABR team has something figured out. I cannot put my finger on it. The man is a magician. When the track gets slick, he runs his car straighter than anybody else, but still on the throttle. It's truthfully something enjoyable to watch, because you think, as a driver, even in racing against him, just in some races outside of these leagues, that you think you have him and your pace is exactly with Bergeron, so you're in good shape, and then all of a sudden he just starts gapping you by a tenth, 2 tenths, sometimes even 3 or 4 tenths a lap, and it's sometimes tough to take in mentally. But he's one of those that's extremely good around the bottom side of the racetrack. I don't know if Eldora is the place where the bottom's going to be. As it looks like we're just rolling over, you can see the flagman waving the checkered there. But
Yep.
He's just one of those guys that when the track gets slick, it's game on. And so it's going to be interesting with the track reset to see exactly how long it takes him to go forward and going from there. But we'll take a look at the starting grid. Now, this is unofficial. These are just your starters. Starters into the main event. So Cole Newhoffen, Kevin Swindell, Zagers, Elby, Heilman, Oldfield, Tucker, Hardy, Cabre, Ducharme, J.D. Brown, Dustin Hall. Literally every single one of those guys is a pro caliber driver. Kevin's won actual World of Outlaw races before, so a lot of talent in this field. Ryan Sheet, Dustin Griffiths, AJ Job, John Batista. 3 out of those 4 guys are pros. Alex Bergeron is going to be starting from the 17th spot, respectively. Cameron Merriman, Hanley, Sheridan, Cardwell. This is a pretty star-studded field. This is probably the deepest field we've had in DRT so far.
100%. We have our official confirmation on your top 5 rows after the dash, by the way. Swindell Tucker will be on row 1, Cabre, Zagers, Elby, Merriman, Oldfield, Newhoffen, Howelman, Batista will be your top 5 rows and top 10 positions. Rest will be sorted essentially how you see. Now, as the parade of green cars get ready, your keys to victory tonight.
Keys of victory is keep your car clean, especially with how fast it is. That's going to be very aero dependent. Keep your car clean. Don't do anything crazy the first few laps. Let the track sort itself out. Let everybody sort itself out. Start working the racetrack in and just focusing on yourself more than anything. The old adage of you can't win the race in the first lap, but you sure can lose it. This is definitely going to be a racetrack where that's definitely a thing. That's really the biggest key. Keeping your car clean, making sure that you're good at the end of the race is just as well as the front. So don't be shocked if we see guys fall to the back and then go back to the front again.
It's Kevin Swindell in control of the field, as he'll launch us off and away. Green flag is out. The war at the banks is underway from Eldora. Swindell already slides up in front of Kendall Tucker. Cole Cabre, P3, Zagerts. P4 it's near 3 wide behind. Contact with the wall for one of the Vanderpool cars. Believe that was Travis Oldfield who smacked the wall. Caution flag is out, though. It's Newhoffen in the fence.
Yeah, let's go back. I think he is stuck into the fence, but let's go back and see what happens to him. And again, it's case of a fairly narrow racetrack. That's some pretty rough net code, it looked like. Let's go back again, and we'll see if we can... actually, we'll go on board with Cole Newhoffen as we get into one here on the opening lap.
I don't think I've ever seen someone get stuck in the catch fence like that before.
No, that's been happening here. It seems a little bit more often than we would like to see. But to have one that stuck in the fence, that's fairly impressive. So we hate to see it for Cole. He was extremely fast in the dash. So he was one of the fastest cars into the dash. So rough night gets a little bit, or rough night. All around there for Mr. Newhoffen.
Indeed. Once again, I'd like to remind you that caution laps do not count in this series, meaning we still have 28 green flag laps to go. Swindell Tucker, your top 2, Cabri, Zegers, Merriman, your top 5, LB, Batista, Heilman, Hardy, among your top 10 competitors this time. Looking to restart things once more. Let's try it again, shall we? iRacing Pace Truck, all set to peel off. As the rear-wheel driver, Kevin Swindell, ready to launch. Onto the gas, green flags out, we're back on our way. And a great launch for Kevin Swindell as he goes up to the middle line this time rather than the cushion. Kendall Tucker follows the tires. Cabri falls behind with the elbows up SimSport machine of Daniel Zangers. All shuffles about. Of note, trouble just now for Job. He's now off the racetrack. No caution as the announcer car is now off the track. Swindell, though, will have to deal with Kendall Tucker. The rising star, one of the best drivers of all of 2020, looking to scrap at the bottom. He tries to slide it hard. The 00 against his boss, not able to make it stick. Kevin Swindell holds on with 25 laps to go, this time by. Zagers holding off, Merriman behind as well. Good hard scraps for all throughout the top 5. Separation between the top 6 cars to the rest of the pack is already up to nearly 3/10. Bottom now being worked in by majority of the lead cars. Tucker preferring the bottom still. Kevin Swindell prefers the cushion. Cole Cabri up on the cushion along with Merriman on behind as well. Bottom side, this time Kevin Swindell defends. Tucker moves back once more to the top. Still a good scrap between these respective competitors as they now move up to the cushion. Just about most of the field is already up to the top wall in the past few laps. Billy, these drivers looking comfortable up on that bumpy cushion early on at the very least.
Yeah.
Or Tucker was, because he just smacked the wall and checked up the field.
Yeah, this track is starting to get a lot wider in a very, very fast rate as we're yellow.
Yeah, I believe that checkup may have caught Colton Hardy.
Yeah, we'll go and see, and it looks like that's exactly who it was. We'll go see if we can find it here and replay.
No, he hit it harder than it was hit from Tucker. He smacked the wall and flipped.
Yeah, we're watching now and just gets into the fence and off she goes. Nothing really you can do about that. It's this racetrack is very, very fast, but it's not one groove. But it's very technical. You start to see the top side, and really we're not even 10 laps into this race yet, and this track has already changed extremely, just a ton. It's like in the middle of the corner now, up along the fence, since everybody's running it. We're going to see some lines changing here. I think quite a bit over the course of the next 5 to 10 laps. The whole scope of this race is changing completely. But Cameron Merriman was absolutely flying. He is currently looking at the timing and scoring right now. His fastest lap of the race, 13:371. Nobody else is even into the 5, or everybody else is in the 5s. One guy into the 4s. So Cameron Merriman, before that yellow, fastest car on the racetrack. So we'll have to keep an eye on him.
Yeah, Merriman has really improved this season, I've noticed, in terms of pace. He had a chance to break through into the top 3 last week.
Yeah, he is. He's definitely he's a very methodical driver, one of the smartest ones on the sim as far as setups goes and just the way that you race these cars.
Green flag's out. We're back on our way. 21 green flag laps to go. Kevin Swindell still in the lead. Tucker still providing the pressure, but the Merryman trying to show what he can do. Swindell moves to the bottom, tries to slide up the track, holds up the momentum of Tucker. Slider line starting to be worked in as Merryman prefers the cushion. Tucker slaps the wall twice over. Merryman not able to close up quite yet. They pull the cushion on Colt Cabri, Elby, and the rest of the green car brigade. John Batista, though, is cutting his way through the field after his technical issues in the dash. He's worked his way already up to P6. His chrome car looking to show what he can now do in the 54. Everyone up to the top wall, though, in the short run of this one. Already to the bottom goes Elby. Not able to quite make it stick yet as Batista takes a spot in trouble. It's Ryan Schmidt in trouble for the caution.
Man, an untimely caution because things were starting to get real interesting up front with Swindell and Tucker, but Cameron Merriman was just getting ready to pounce. But let's go back and see what happened here to Mr. Ryan Sheet. 1 and 2, the trouble spot it seems so far in this feature. Yeah, the car just gets tight on him and upside down into the fence he goes. That's one of those that you definitely close your eyes if you have VR. Those are not very pleasant, but you know, again, 4 laps later, this track again completely changed. We saw Swindell and Tucker both going to the bottom side of the racetrack, starting to slip off of the corners a little bit, especially and actually on entry more than anything. The top side of the exit of 2 still looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's still looking like it can really still be slicked up in many different spots. Keep in mind, too, we haven't even talked about the 2-time champion for the iRacing World of Outlaws more than Bill, or rather, NOS Energy Drink Sprint Cars World Championship Bergeron too much tonight. He's only gotten up to about 16th position last time by officially at the stripe. He's not even really moved at all through the pack.
Yeah, not much at all. So it's not something that we usually see out of him. We'll have to kind of keep an eye on him throughout this race to see, as this track slicks off, if he starts to move forward. You know, but again, this is kind of something different. We don't usually start racing on tracks that are this heavy and this fast right away going into the feature event. So it might have caught some of these guys off guard.
Kevin Swindell off and away once more. 17 green flag laps to go. He and Tucker have been near on top of one another so far in this race. Hard hit for Swindell. Kendall Tucker to the race lead. Swindell does a wheel and holds on to it. He's shuffled back to about P3 as Cameron Merriman can't take advantage quite yet. Adam Elby makes it 3 wide for P3, near 4 wide as contact the teammates hit. Bumping and banging the green cars. Brown able to squeeze on through the squeagle as Elby, Paul, and several others had to all dance around as Heilman and company all squirreled the way through. For the race lead, though, it's Cabri. Up to the top, it's Tucker. Now from the bottom to the top in 3 and 4. He leads just past halfway. 14 green flag laps to go in this race. Still, it is Slick Sim Sport and Swindell Speed Lab drivers 1, 2, and almost 3. Swindell is now lost third. Cameron Merriman is up to third in the Moosecraft Sander machine. Not quite yet, though. Here comes Swindell with a slide job back. Cross back from Merriman, back into the bottom in 3. Has to flick the wheel, avoids the wall on the inside, smacks on the outside. He's on his side, tires get spun around. Caution is out as he gets hit by several cars.
Oh, that's a very, very rare mistake from Cameron. Very rare mistake. You don't really see him make those kind of mental errors, really. But we'll go back to the replay and see what happened here. He went in for the slider, and I think he had to throw it far deeper than he thought, and just didn't get it checked up in time. And big unfortunate circumstance, though, for Cameron. He was extremely quick.
I thought he was going to hit the inside wall. I see him actually flick to the right a touch right before he shot up there. I think that little wiggle there might have in turn led to where he couldn't get it back off towards that wall.
Yeah, there's a very right up near the wall. There's kind of a flat, and if you hit that with the left front, it can upset the car. And like I said, I think he was throwing a slider a little bit deeper than what he thought, and it just upset the car enough and just couldn't really do anything with it towards the end of that towards the end of the corner.
Merriman now off the racetrack. Significant damage there as 11 green flag laps to go. One more pace lap. But what a mistake time two for Kevin Swindell in the race lead, and he smacks the backstretch wall. It's now Kendall Tucker who has a shot to come away with this race victory if he can hold on to a hard-charging Cole Cabrey.
Yeah, and Cabrey's extremely fast too, but ultra aggressive. So you kind of have to be careful. Do you do something crazy to try to get the win? I don't know. It's just how risky are you willing to go? But Batista right now up to 4th and absolutely flying. And I believe the longer this race goes, the faster he's going to get as we come back to green.
11 laps to go. Back underway. Kendall Tucker looking to try and win the 0-0 as Cole Cabrey stays in the middle this time. Tries to power off the corner. Not enough of a boost as Kendall Tucker still holds on. John Batista, though, is saying hello. Where did he come from? That is from P10 up to 3rd. He has methodically made his way up to the field. The 1IX sponsored car is up inside a podium position. Half a second behind the lead with 9 laps to go. And the caution is out again. It's Travis Oldfield.
Well, we will see what happened to Mr. Oldfield here. Unfortunate, as it looks like, just gets a little bit of a tap down the back straightaway. They lock wheels and into the fence. That might have been Lewis Hewitt with the contact on that one there. So unfortunate circumstances there for Travis Oldfield, who was running pretty decent around the 13th or 14th position.
Can't confirm, yes. It was Lewis Hewitt's car. Very hard hit. That is the end of a longest line penalty as a result for Lewis Hewitt. Although Hewitt was still at the back of the field in about 15th position or so nearly when that contact happened. That leaves 18 cars running with 9 green flag laps to go. Now that John Batista's up there, I'm curious what happens because Batista, he was even quicker than the leaders right before that caution flag.
Yeah, and as I was saying, the longer this race goes, I think the more it plays into Batista's hands. I've seen him run a lot of league races here in the past, and it just absolutely comes on towards the end of the race. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can get himself around Cabrey and Tucker. But don't sleep on Swindell. And actually, David Heilman's up into the 5th spot now, too. So Cardwell's coming up from the back. Bergeron's still sitting around in 13th, though.
Back on her way once more. The question is, who takes the checker flag in this one? Cabrey using the bottom. Kendall Tucker still with the lead. John Batista, though, in his happy place, right up against the wall on the cushion. Can he try and do something as he bumps the wall? Zooms by Cabrey either way. John Batista working his way up towards 2nd. Down the D-shaped backstretch. This time goes for the pinch. Cabrey with the slide. Cabrey with the block. Batista with the squeeze. Cabrey with the squeeze back. Batista with the slide up. They make contact. Cabrey gets bounced around. Swindell passes. Howman passes. Ducharme and company passes. Cabrey shuffled as a result to 14th. 6 laps to go after the dirty slider. The lead separation is now 1.1 seconds. How will the rest of the cars react to that is the biggest question too. Batista needs to close up more 5 laps. Needs to close up 2/10 at minimum per lap to have a shot. 1.1 seconds. The gap is not shrinking yet. Kendall Tucker keeping it nice and solid up towards the front. Will it stay green is the biggest question on everybody's minds for the next 4 laps. Tucker starting to have to lift down the backstretch. Batista starting his prowl. Batista with a big mistake hits the wall. He's spun around.
No.
Caution is out. What a time for that mistake.
Yeah, that's I know John pretty well. He's going to be kicking himself extremely hard for that one. And the car just gets tight in the center of the corner. Heilman with nowhere to go. John spins around. I don't think he's going to have any damage there, so he's going to have to recover. But yeah, that's one of those. Just we'll go back on board with John and see what happens here.
Yeah.
Just running the wall, normal line, and then right about there hits a bump, and that's all that she wrote. Heilman with nowhere to go. Batista goes for the spin cycle. Unfortunate for John Batista, who was doing his best to try to capitalize on a good points night. But he will be relegated to the back of the field, which that moves now Kevin Swindell up into the third spot with Tyler Ducharme in fourth. But Hayden Cardwell from the back of the field. Don't know why I'm switching cars. They're all in the same stuff, but there's Mr. Cardwell, who's currently in the fifth spot. So now with 2 to go, he's in prime spot to potentially get up towards the front and put himself onto the podium.
1 lap until the green flag. We're down to 2 laps to go under green flag conditions. So everyone, get your popcorn out. This will be wild. It is Tucker, Heilman, Swindell, Ducharme, Cardwell. All drivers who work with the Nether through alliances. They'll look to see which one takes the checker tonight. 2 laps to go from Eldora. Kendall Tucker with a good launch. Can he hold off Heilman, Swindell, and the rest of the grouping? Ducharme ripping the top, takes away third. Swindell getting attacked by Cardwell to lose P4 as the white flag is out. Race is official. Final lap from Eldora. For Kendall Tucker, he stayed up at the front all night long. But one more defense into 3 and 4. He pushes up. Heilman can't get there. And it's Tucker who wins at Eldora.
What a race! That ending went pretty solid there. Kendall Tucker just running away. I would have liked to seen what would have happened. Would have loved to see what happened if Batista didn't have that misfortune. If Batista didn't have that misfortune on the front straightaway, if he would have had something to do with Kendall Tucker, because I do believe he was running a pretty quick pace as Heilman is doing some burnouts on the front straightaway. But we'll wait for these guys to get into the broadcast booth so Justin gets some interviews done. And what a feature event. That was the track changed a lot over the course of that feature. The groove started about halfway up. Moved up to the wall, got slick, went back to the bottom. So your finishing order for the War on the Banks: Kendall Tucker, your feature winner; David Heilman, Tyler Ducharme, Hayden Cardwell, Kevin Swindell in 5th. So pretty much a lockout from Slick Sim Sport and Swindell Speed Lab. Top 5, Daniel Zagers in 6th. Dustin Griffiths moved up into the 7th spot, so good job to Dustin. Dustin Hall in 8th. Dylan Schiebel, Cole Cabre recovered back to 10th. J.D. Brown, Adam Elby, Kevin Hanley, Michael Sheridan, Lewis Hewitt, and John Batista was able to move up to 16th. Bergeron struggled this evening in the feature, got banged around a little bit, ends up 18th. But it looks like we've got Kendall Tucker in the booth.
I believe we do.
Yes, we do.
Kendall, how are you feeling after that one? Had to hold off a bunch of green cars.
Yeah, it was a big old cluster of cars, same color and everything. So I mean, I really just didn't know who was behind me, honestly, because the little box you have in the bottom right of your screen, I just always have it on what my wing slider is. So really, I didn't know who it was. I just knew I was racing with Kevin up there at the beginning, and then after that, I mean, I didn't see anybody once I passed him. So I was just glad I didn't have to race any more of them blue cars, honestly, because it would have been tough not knowing who I was racing against, honestly.
When it comes to the track conditions tonight, what was it like trying to adapt to everything to make sure you kept up with the track as well as kept up with drivers like Kevin Swindell, who torched the field early on in this one until he smacked that wall?
Yeah, I mean, they just with resetting the track right there before the feature, that definitely would have helped the racing. In my opinion, this is probably one of the toughest tracks to race on and try and make passes on consistently, no matter what the track state is, which is kind of disappointing because this track, it has a lot of potential as wide as it is. But we'll just keep hoping with some more updates and stuff that they'll get this track right eventually. But Kevin, he was really fast early. Just Haiti got into the wall after that last restart. I think he was getting into a rhythm early, and whenever we had a couple green flag runs right there, but he doesn't have much time to get on here much. So just for him to be up front and lead over half the race or almost half the race, is pretty impressive.
Of course, a couple things. Next race for this series, Kokomo. Then, of course, right before that, the World Championship Series race on Monday. Your thoughts heading into those next two races?
Yeah, we're just we've had some bad luck go our way here the last couple weeks in the sprint car, and it kind of carried over into Monday. Unfortunately, I was running fourth right there, was catching the leaders, and just got into the wall, and just ended our night. And that's definitely not the way that I wanted to start out the season. I've felt pretty good going into it, but hopefully that'll be our one bad week of the year, and we got it behind us, and hopefully we can rack up some wins this season. It's really about the only shot we have of getting back in the championship hunt. So that's just my main goal from here on out, is just trying to go out here and win every race I can.
Anyone you want to thank for the run tonight?
Yeah, just all my guys at Swindell Speed Lab, and I got to thank K1 Race Gear and Bear Archery for coming on board, and I got to thank HMS Motorsport and South Bay Partners, and I got to thank ML Performance along with Racing Electronics as well. So, thanks to all the guys over at DRT for the league, and thanks to you and Billy for the broadcast. Appreciate it.
Congratulations on the run, Kendall.
Appreciate it.
Kendall Tucker, your winner tonight from Eldora. Interesting race, Billy. I believe you're standing by with our second place runner, who's going to have to answer at least a probably obvious question. David Heilman.
What's up, JP?
So David, interesting race, a lot of green cars, about impossible to call. But you were coming on at the end of the race there pretty quick.
Yeah, the green cars were for the my 500 subscriber on YouTube. We haven't quite gotten there yet, but I at least, I don't know about everyone else, was planning to just run that until we got there. So everyone go subscribe to my YouTube channel, where I think we're at 490 something. It was just, the track was like a heat race at the start, so it was just, you didn't know if you were going to set up for the end of the race or the start of it. It was just kind of full throttle the whole time. But we kind of went for later. I wish we didn't go for that far late, but yeah, it would just tend to go. Every other line kind of got worn, and then it was just ripped the lip, and it felt really, really, really good there. Just unfortunately got a little nose damage. Probably just needed another lap or two, and then we just had that little bit of nose damage when John got the wall there out of 4. Yeah, that was the race.
Well, good job, David, on second. Anybody you got to thank?
Yeah, just you guys for putting it on. Zane for trying his hardest. I had him in this week. That stuff's not easy. And all everyone back at Slick Sim Sport and all the Honda Maniacs watching out there.
Well, thank you, David. That is your second place finisher. And Justin's got Tyler Ducharme finishing in third spot.
Yes, indeed. When you factor in the partnership with Swindell and Slick from the late models last year, that was a 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if theory. But Tyler, you've had a good week. Good speed early on Monday. Good speed tonight at the end of the race tonight. How are you feeling about this one?
Yeah, we had a setup here from early in the spring that we knew would work when the track was kind of tacky like this, and kind of progressively got slicker and slicker. It just kept coming to me, and I saw Hayden was coming, and I figured it'd be faster at the end, and I said he's not going to pass me this week. So I just come into 3, and I saw he gave me like just enough of a lane there to hold it on the outside, and I was able to get third. It was kind of difficult to pass there with the track as fast as it was. we were able to make some moves there on the bottom just because they were all stacking up on the outside. So we just dove to the bottom and were able to pick up some positions. So that helped a lot. Just having the car that could move around the racetrack. So I think me and Dave were on something a little bit different than everyone else. So definitely proved the work.
Yeah, I was going to say, in turn, knowing you found something different that was something that you started off strong with on the short run on Monday, but fell off at the end of the race. Is this something we may see from you, at least similar car-wise, come Monday for the World Championship?
I really hope so. It just seems to be the thing for me is to not be able to finish out races. We were fast in some of the late model races and just fell off there at the end. And same Monday night. I mean, I just got to put the race together. And some of it comes to me too, falls on me as a driver because I'm kind of inexperienced in these cars with knowing the in-car adjustments and whatever. And on Monday, it just kind of got behind there, and I got behind on the wing adjustment, and I got past. And by the time I finally got it dialed to where I liked it, I was able to drive back up there with those guys, but it was just too late. Tonight, I just was on top of that and made sure I knew where I had my wing, and I was able to just pick up cars. And Monday, it's just gonna be a thing of the track's tacky to begin with. I think it'll be all right. But we definitely learned some stuff. So,
yep. With that, next race in the series, Kokomo. Your thoughts there?
I'm not very comfortable there. So, hopefully I can go there and learn some stuff. It's just you got to learn and get better, especially for me. I don't have a whole lot of time in these cars, so any seat time I can get in these is a big plus to me. So I'm sure it goes for Hayden and some of the other guys that don't run sprints a lot. So, we just got to keep picking away at it. I'm getting better and better as I go along here. Just trying to keep my nose clean and just stay out of trouble.
Anyone you want to thank on your end?
First off, all my sponsors in the Pro Series, DCI Racing, Donnelly Construction, Dirt Track Digest, Finish Line Designs for the awesome wrap this season, and obviously Slick Sim Sport and Swindell for all they do. Working on these setups together. I got to thank Billy and all of Elbows Up for putting this on. Very well run. Just got to get a little bit better so we can come out and win next week.
Congratulations on the podium.
Yep, thanks, Justin.
Howard Ducharme, stellar run tonight, charged up from one of the positions in months, your top competitors. Billy, what a race tonight, to say the very least, especially with a feature. Competitive throughout, various different leaders, various different challenges as described by our drivers for the track. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, just a wild race from start to finish. Heat race is a little sloppy, but feature, other than a couple of guys, just getting tight up on the cushion and getting into the fence a little bit. Other than that, fairly good show. Hopefully everybody at home enjoyed it, and just getting ready for Kokomo next week. That anytime you go to the short tracks with these 410s, it's always a pretty exciting deal. Kokomo's been one of the more racy tracks in the sim with all the updates they've been doing. They moved the infield tires in a few builds ago, and that's made it a lot better. So should be another interesting week next week, and we'll be watching you on Monday with the Pro Series once again. And just thanks everybody for coming out and supporting DRT. Good things coming all the time, and just appreciate everybody for coming. So for that, Justin, any final words? Where can we see you next on your calendar?
Well, next on my calendar, I'm honestly not quite sure. It's actually one of the slowest weeks I've had since Arch.
Well, it seems like a lot of series are, they're either off this week or it was the end of their season or mid-season break, whatever it may be. So hopefully it picks back up for you. I know myself and everybody else enjoys listening to you call these races, and once again another fantastic job. But
thank you.
We will see you guys all next week back at Kokomo. So come join us for DRT at Kokomo.